A new, incredibly powerful law is set to completely reshape one of the world's oldest industries. You see, the European Union's AI Act isn't just for big tech companies anymore. Its influence is now reaching the high seas, setting up a direct collision with decades of established maritime regulation. Let's explore exactly how this complex merger is going to unfold.
This is really the central question we're looking at. How does a horizontal, data-driven law like the AI Act actually integrate with a very vertical, hardware-focused world of maritime safety? This analysis was carried out under the scientific supervision of Professor Vihar Kiskinov.
So to really understand this merger, we've structured our analysis into 4 parts. We're going to start by looking at the 2 very different legal frameworks. Then we'll get into the specific amendment that connects them, look at the real-world impact on the industry, and finally, explore what the path forward looks like.
Now, before we can see how these laws connect, we first have to appreciate just how different they are. They come from 2 completely separate worlds with fundamentally opposing ideas on how to ensure safety.
The contrast here is what's truly fascinating. On one side, you've got the Marine Equipment Directive, or MED. It's vertical, which means it's super specific to the maritime industry. It focuses on the performance of physical things. Does this life raft inflate correctly? Is this steel plate strong enough? But on the other side, the AI Act is horizontal. It cuts across every single industry. It's not about hardware performance. It's about the data and the processes used to build software that makes predictions. It asks how a system gets to an answer, not just what the answer is. And that is the core philosophical clash.
So, how are these 2 opposite worlds being forced to come together? The answer is in a single powerful piece of legislation, Article 105 of the AI Act. Think of it as the legislative bridge that connects these 2 universes.
The critical link here is the definition of a safety component. The AI Act is very clear. Any AI system that acts as a safety component in a product that's already covered by existing EU safety law is automatically classified as high risk. And since the Marine Equipment Directive is on that list of laws, this one definition creates a direct legal link, pulling maritime AI into the AI Act's toughest regulatory category.
And this isn't just a theoretical exercise. This new classification is going to apply to a whole range of technologies that are already being used out at sea. Think about AI-powered collision avoidance systems that make critical decisions about where a ship should go, or predictive maintenance systems that monitor a ship's engine to stop a catastrophic failure before it happens. Even smart cameras that can automatically spot a person falling overboard. All of these now fall squarely into this high-risk category.
So let's look at the new compliance journey. For manufacturers, bringing a product to market is now a 2-track challenge. They still have to meet all the traditional performance standards of the Marine Equipment Directive. But now, layered on top of that, they must also comply with all the demanding requirements of the AI Act for high-risk systems. We're talking about things like data governance, human oversight, and cybersecurity. Both sets of proof then get bundled into a single technical file, which gets sent for a much tougher audit before they can finally earn that wheel mark, the essential passport for any marine equipment sold in the EU.
This table does a fantastic job of showing just how huge this shift is. Before, risk assessment was about physical failure. Now it covers the entire product lifecycle, including things like data bias and algorithmic mistakes. Documentation used to be about simple performance specs. Now it has to detail the entire AI architecture. And crucially, post-market surveillance is no longer just a general duty. It now requires a formal, mandatory system to monitor the AI component specifically. The scope of responsibility has just exploded.
Of course, this isn't just a headache for manufacturers. These changes create a ripple effect that spreads across the entire maritime world, affecting everyone from the certification bodies right down to the end users on the vessel itself. For the manufacturers, the challenge is just immense. They have to build entirely new skill sets inside their companies, in AI governance, data science, and cybersecurity. And their responsibility no longer ends when they sell a product. They are now on the hook for monitoring that AI system for its entire life.
Next up are the notified bodies. These are the independent organizations that actually certify the equipment, and for them, this creates a genuine competency crisis. Their experts are usually marine engineers, not data scientists. They are masters of testing physical hardware, but now they're being asked to audit complex AI models, judge the statistical quality of datasets, and validate cybersecurity. It's a completely new world for them. And finally, if you're a ship owner or an operator, your obligations don't stop when you buy the equipment. You now take on the role of a deployer under the AI Act. This means you are legally required to make sure your crew is properly trained, you have to monitor the AI's performance while it's in use, and, this is critical, you have to follow the manufacturer's instructions for use exactly. Any deviation could become a major point of legal failure if there's an incident.
So, given all these pretty profound challenges, how does the industry actually move forward? The path involves understanding new timelines, embracing new standards, and making some strategic changes.
And the clock is absolutely ticking. While some parts of the law kick in as early as 2025, the really critical date for the maritime sector is August 2027. That's when the high-risk requirements will fully apply to marine equipment. It gives the industry a window to get ready, but it's not a long one.
And if you really want to understand the deep philosophical shift at the heart of all this quote from the source material just nails it. What used to be mainly about the physical strength of hardware is now equally about the informational integrity of data. The quality of a training dataset is now just as fundamental to safety as the quality of the steel in a propeller shaft.
So the takeaway here is to be proactive. Manufacturers need to start building their AI governance frameworks now, and they need to get involved in setting the new technical standards to help shape compliance. Notified bodies have to urgently build or buy AI and cyber expertise, maybe through partnerships. And ship owners must focus on boosting crew training and formally writing these new systems into their vessels' safety management systems, making sure they're used correctly and safely.
When you step back and look at the whole picture, what we're seeing is not just a new set of rules. It is the birth of a completely new regulatory environment, a hybrid ecosystem where the worlds of tech law and maritime law are no longer separate. They are now permanently and intricately woven together.
And that leaves us with one final critical question. Will this convergence of two worlds lead to a new era of safety and intelligence on the high seas? Or will the huge compliance burden end up stifling the very innovation it's trying to govern? The answer to that is going to shape the future of the maritime industry for decades to come.